Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Critics Collective proudly presents one half of the WWE All Elite Wrestling TNA, whatever fucking division you want to go. We got Manny in one corner, the not so super fan, and sitting here glistening in gold and shining off greatness like he does so many times. We have the best there is, the best there was, the best to ever do it, whether prime time or live. You got Mr. Showtime in the house, baby. Mr. Showtime's in the house. We back. We got the band back together. It's like DX coming back for a reunion, but not like the Saudi Arabia one against Undertaker and Kane. Not that match. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the good reunion. But anyways, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more here at the Critics Collective. We love to have you. We've said it multiple times. Check in the bio. There's links. We sell merch. Well, we don't sell merch. You know, he's got the Austin on. I got this. You got Terminator. I'm just saying there's some stuff you can buy from the WWE site. We get a nice little kickback, and we appreciate that. With that being said, this is the 1, 2, 3 count. We're going to talk about some stuff, but because this is a special episode, we're talking about Wrestlemania. Check out what Manny's talked about for night 1 and night 2. He gives it to you. Go check it. He'll talk about Raw. He'll talk about SmackDown. Check it. Go check my conversation on night 1, night 2. Go check that out too. It's different. It's in there, but now we're here together. With that being said, we're going to jump into the first topic here, and we are going to talk about standout performances. Standout performances. So, Manny, I'll let you start this off. What were the performances that just stood out for you for night 1 and 2 collectively together?
Collectively, I'm gonna say because night 1 was, I didn't really feel night 1, to tell you the truth.
It's hot. It's hot mess.
Yeah, it was a hot mess. I didn't feel night 1 overall. But I'll go ahead and say for night 1, the Gunther and Seth Rollins match that stood out for me.
Okay.
Other than that, I would say for night 1, the women's the women tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. If we go in for night 2 now.
Okay, wait. Let me jump in my night 1. Right, so night 1, I'm gonna take the tag. This is Manny was getting it. I just came and just tag. Man, I'm like, hey, bad guys gonna be bad guys. If I could pick night 1, I do agree with the women's match. I felt it was stronger than a lot of people give it credit for. I think go watch it. I'm not happy with the outcome. Love to see Paige come back. Don't get me wrong, but I think the champs should have kept the belt, especially with their nod to the legends. And I think if not, then Bayley should have won that belt. That's just me. But I would say the Gunther match as well with Seth. And the reason why I would say that is it was a really good match put together. It sucks that we didn't get a good build. It sucks that Gunther was, gone. And I think he was supposed to come back and go against Rey Mysterio, and that didn't work out. But it's just unfortunate because he's the guy that got rid of Cena. And Seth is a great person to match with. It's just, unfortunately, there's no storyline. There's nothing to fuel this. It's going to burn off and become nothing. The other one I would say is Jacob Fatu. That match, that match was a very good match. Unfortunately, the stipulation of what it was, it should have just been called. But when you put a title like that, you're expecting carnage, and unfortunately, you weren't. It was big, meaty men slapping meat, yes, but unfortunately, I think it was missing color. How do you have a match like that? There was no blood, but you did have blood for some other matches later on in the card. Now, what do you think? Like number 2, night 2.
Number 2. If I had to say one of my favorite matches for night 2 was the 6-man ladder match. That match was ridiculous. It was phenomenal.
Crazy
You have
spot.
McDanum, and you have young OG, and of course Dragon Lee. These guys stood out a lot. You know, the high maneuver. Of course, Bruce, a big guy on a ladder match, he did great. That match stood out for me the most. Of course, you had Oba Femi. That was that. Even though that match was quick, that stood out. You know, it shows how over Oba is at the moment. Then the main event, of course, Punk and Roman Reigns. That's that Ring of Honor entrance, transitioning to his current theme.
Yeah,
I like that.
that was a moment.
That I like how I've been rewatching it back and back and back. But those three matches stood out for me the most. Even though Trick William came out with that, fucking CVS.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I thought it would have been cool had it been red, because it looked like he bought his own red carpet. That would have been clean as fuck. But I wanted to hear, you whoop that Trick, and then Lil Yachty out there, yeah. I'm like, yo, you ain't got to say shit, Lil Yachty. We know what to do. We know what to do.
He could have brought Booker out, Booker T.
He could have. Booker would have been. Booker's one of the first ones. If you go back and check NXT, you can still go back to when Trick comes out for the first time. The beat is going, and you can hear the Orlando crowd whoop that Trick. And it's a moment. It's like sprinkling season. Like if you don't season your food, you're not gonna know what we're talking about. But if you season your food, regardless where you're from, you know what it's like to add a little something. You taste it, you're like, oh, I'm cooking. So with Trick, when Trick's coming out, you see him and he's like, he's feeling the beat. The beat is clean, and he's sitting there, and then you can hear the fans, like some of them, sitting there with that Trick, and they getting everybody, regardless if you got rhythm or not. They got everybody saying it now at this point. And so he's like, damn. But what he doesn't hear is he's cracking it. That extra seasoning was Booker T. Booker T was like, go back. If you never listened, listen to Trick coming out, and Booker T adds that seasoning. And just like when Stephanie's doing that move, that Diablo move, right? Shucky Ducky.
Yeah.
He adds his little thing to it.
Even now with Joe Hendry.
Yeah. So he adds a little. Yeah, he adds a little something to it. Bucker. So just go back and listen to Trick out there doing it. But if I could pick my things from night 2, I think number 3, if I had to rank it, I think I would go with the third thing being, I feel like it'd probably be the Finn Balor. I feel like Finn doesn't get enough love. The guy doesn't age.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought it was a good match between him and Dom. I thought the pain and the demon and everybody was feeling it was really good to see that from Finn, and I hope they do more. Whatever, as these two might just separate their way. And I thought it was strong for Dom because it was like, you didn't make any of these people look less than. They can go on with stories and doing their own thing. And I thought it was cool. You can even probably bring back another match at Backlash, and I wouldn't be mad at it. Number 2, I'm going to say the Roman Reigns. And don't get me wrong, I acknowledge him. Roman Reigns and CM Punk. The intros were smooth. Don't get me wrong. The match was smooth. Roman sitting there, he's at the legendary fucking static. You can say the suffering succotash, and you could talk about the barking in the yard and Vince shoving him up everybody's face, but he's in a place right now where it's just he's the fucking GOAT right now. And him sitting there saying, you want to hear a bedtime story? And he was fucking with him, kind of like with Cody, where he's like, I tried your fucking move and it's weak, just like I thought. It's fucking weak. It's just the way he just does it so effortlessly, whether he's a heel or a face, you fucking love it. I thought the storytelling on that match, I'm an old school fan of wrestling, so I like, Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels and Brett and The Undertaker, where there's a certain story that's being told in the ring. And the story that was told that I picked up was Phil was going to keep trying. CM Punk was going to keep trying, almost like Captain America. I could do this all day. And it didn't matter that it should have been DQ'd when he used the stairs, because you're not supposed to use a weapon. I don't know how they let that shit slide, where they didn't ring the bell when Roman was fucking him up on the corner. But I thought it was a really good match. And then my last one, number one, would be Brock retires and he puts over another superstar, and he puts over a superstar. I'm just going to keep it real. Who's black? Who's African American? You put over somebody there. I don't think we realize how big of a fucking moment that is at WrestleMania to sit there and you put over somebody else. I know we joke on social media. You see it all the time where they'll joke and they'll say you're African American or you're Hispanic and you win the championship. You're like, yeah. And Brock's music plays. And you're like, man, shit. And you can think about all the wrestlers that Brock has fucking flipped up side down, like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and destroyed them. And he was destroyed respectfully. It was a respectful squash match in a way, and it was a statement match. And I think that is big for the WWE to do something like that for Brock. From what I heard, Brock chose him and said, I'm going to go out on my terms. It's going to be this gentleman right here, and let's do it. And he's got some big fucking shoes to fill, because you heard what Paul Heyman said. And it's not going to be the last time Paul's probably going to talk about Brock. So those are my moments when it comes to night two. And there's just something about it. And that kind of segues into the winners and the losers of the weekend. Not just the matches. Who do you have for your winners or losers for the weekend?
Are we going to start off with 9-1?
You can blend them together. It's up to you.
All
we
right.
run the show. We do what we want. In the comments, you can participate and answer along. But yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to say a winner for night one would definitely be, damn, dude, I don't think I have any winners for night one.
And there's nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that.
I think for night one, Liv could have been a winner, but she came out as a loser. The whole Judgment Day coming out and helping her didn't help, I guess, progress her because she keep claiming she's the greatest woman wrestler of all time, but that didn't help the storyline. Another loser was the women's tag team match. Like you said, I feel that Lash and Nia should have retained, which didn't happen. The other one was the Cody and Randy match. I really feel that Randy should have taken the belt. And Pat McAfee being involved was so unnecessary with that. So that's for night one as far as losers goes for me. I didn't really see any winners. You want to go ahead and do night one?
Yeah, night one, the losers were us as fucking fans, and it's gonna sprinkle in the night two. Listen here, they fucked us, man. Listen here, I come from an era, I come from an age, I come from a time before a time. Listen, young buck, if you don't know, now you know. I came from a time where if you didn't have the money to watch the pay-per-view, you didn't see it live. That's just what it was. It was either Gorilla telling you, Jerry the King Lawler, JR, Vince, somebody was telling you for $19.99, you can call this number and you can order and da-da-da-da, and then get the DVD. It wasn't even DVDs. It was CDs. We would go to Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, wherever it is. You know what I'm talking about. You would go to this place and you would get the movie or the pay-per-view and you would take it home and you would get a chance to watch it. You had that opportunity and you watched it with friends. You ordered some pizza, and those moments were all just something about it. And this didn't create these fucking moments with the conversation of how many. I'm a person that enjoys matches. Yes, I love the spectacle, but most of the matches were like 10 fucking minutes, and it was fucking ridiculous. The Uso match, and no shade to the Usos or LA Knight. Yeah, you're fucking at the bottom. Yes, you're there at WrestleMania. I wasn't even there, so I'm not throwing shade, but come on, man. That match could have been a free match on Hulu or on Disney or ESPN for people who are free that could have got you more in. I don't know what that was. And I don't know what night one was. I just felt like we just lost all over. If I could pick another loss, it's unfortunate that Paige comes down to the ring. She's this moment, it's this pop, and it's great. Go check the review that we did for the movie that was inspired by Paige. But the Bellas, just nothing's happened with them. And you put the championship belt on them. Nia and Legend look strong. They look strong throughout the match, a really good match. It should have been one of those things where if they were going to lose, it would have been close. And it would have been Bayley who wins it. And then now that's the burn off rival you're getting at Backlash. Unfortunately, they should be able to go get their belts back, and they should do it successfully, because Paige didn't look that good, to be honest. I'm just keeping it real. She didn't look that good. And the Bella twins haven't looked good in forever. One of the twins had to call their other twin because they were doing that poorly, like just wrestling wise. I'm not talking about promos and shit. Nostalgia wears off. And it did, unfortunately. And that's who your champ is. And they're going to be part-time champs. I'm just going to call it what it is. That was ugly. That was a loss for us. Trying to think, it was ugly for Drew. I felt bad for Drew having to go out there and do what he's, do that again, whatever that is. I felt bad for Stephanie. I saw her kind of cry towards the end. And I thought it was bad for Randy. They were just bad all over that fucking night. What do you got for night two?
The other one, before we go to night two, is the whole tag team match where you had Logan Paul, I Show Speed.
Mm-hmm.
You could have easily had like a tag team match where you could have easily had Ilya Dragunov's team up with Carmelo for the tag team belt against these two.
You could have had another, again, you have UFC influence in the background. There should have been a card that everyone could have watched while everybody was trying to still freak out. And they're freaking out trying to figure out how to fucking watch this. And you could have had that as the main event before WrestleMania started. It could have been an hour of matches of you seeing wrestlers you might not have seen evolve, all this stuff. You could have done stuff. You could have pre-taped shit, whatever. And then your main event match at WrestleMania before the live feed cuts out telling you switch here. This is how you switch. This is how you do it on your phone, Steve. Like you could have done celebrities coming over and I guess picture Kevin Hart. This how you do it. This how you go, you press here, you go to here, you go here. And this how you watch WrestleMania. And they could have done that. And they didn't. And it was just, like I said, it was just ugly. And I'm trying to think, is there any winners in night one? No. Jacob is the only winner. There you go.
Yeah. Night two. I'm going to start off with my loser. I'm going to say Rhea Ripley. I love me some Rhea, but her, I don't think there was a need for her to win the belt. I don't think it helps her stock in any way. Rhea's already up there.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how protected she is, first of all. And it shows that Jade carried that match a bit. Jade carried that match. If you watch the match again, she was doing great from my perspective. If you watch. I think Jade should have retained. I don't think there should have been any involvement because if you watch the match again, Jade looked strong. So there was no need to have Mi Chang and B-Fab show up to intervene. It just ruined Jade's stock to me personally. And again, Rhea should not have taken the belt. It doesn't help at all. WWE ruined that story or whatever because they should have let them go back and forth. It's just like when Rhea back in the days when she had that feud when Bianca called her out for being protected. They should have just let Jade get at her. But again, protecting the stock, WWE didn't let it go through. That was my only loser for night two. As far as winners go, again, go back to Oba. The entrance. How over it is, the crowd, the strut.
Yeah, everybody. They had a whole fucking country when they went to Scotland or some shit. Everybody was doing it. That's how I feel like after I knocked down my wife a little bit, I put her to sleep, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it.
And the way he was put over, a lot of us, especially Black people, We were afraid. We thought he was gonna get squashed at WrestleMania.
I didn't.
No, because a lot of speculation was like, damn, he's winning every week against Brock. But to go at WrestleMania and dominate again, that was big. And again, for Brock to put him over like that, and Brock to personally pick him was phenomenal.
Now, don't get me wrong. Look, just to jump in here, I don't invite motherfuckers to the cookout. That's not my style. But I'll save you a plate, Brock. I'll save you a plate with aluminum foil over it, a red Solo cup. I got you, my guy.
Another big winner for me. It was hard for me to decide that 6-man tag, because I wanted each one of these guys because they're worthy for that belt. You got Javon. You got Yusuf, even though if you don't like him. You have JD McDonough. He's great in the ring. Then you have Dragon Lee. All these guys deserve. Okay. But you got Panther, who's the current champion, and you want him to retain. And the match was great. You know, they had a lot of moments. I know WWE loved the moment, but that match had great moments from each one of these guys. And that compared to the main event, this was one of the best match of both night 1 and night 2.
Okay. All right.
Second one, I'm gonna say again, the main event. I know we talked about, you said Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor's entrance because I was doing the whole thing every time. Woo! And I love the Demon entrance. WWE ruined it for me. They spoiled it too early. You know, I wanted that to be a surprise. But WWE went ahead and spoiled like everybody. Like people were going to be excited. They could have just
it didn't spoil for me. Like I said, I didn't watch the Raw and SmackDown leading up. There was nothing for the story. I didn't look at any of the match cards. So some of these matches, I didn't even know was happening. Like at the beginning, they'll do the whole, tonight we're going to show, and they'll kind of give you but a lot of times I was caught off guard. I was like, oh shit, Paige. Oh shit, she's injured. So they need a replacement. When she's like, oh, we got somebody coming out. I'm like, I had a moment.
We go to my favorite match of the night, which was Roman Reigns versus Punk. Even though Punk lost, he looked strong in the match. Even though he did that one last, cut under, struggling, wanted that belt so bad, but he came out looking strong. Even though
it was such a good, whoever produced that match did such a good job with it. Where the Randy Orton Cody match felt like it was 3 different matches, like a movie that has 3 different acts in it and no consistency. The CM Punk match and Roman Reigns had the consistency because that was such a good move to take the tape and throw it, find a different way to make the ref turn his head. And then I was like, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was good wrestling.
I think it was the producers Michael Hayes and Bobby Roode.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Bobby in the coat in the drip with the drip. Bobby, they be sleeping on Bobby. Bobby had the Ric Flair drip, one a top like an underdog anthem.
Yeah. I think Paul Heyman was also a contributor to that match too.
Well, they were cooking. They were seasoning.
That was one of those match. Yeah, overall, that match was the winner for me overall. And just the entrances alone, go back to the Ring of Honor entrance, that Punk and how he paid tribute to all those people that, again, he did that on Monday Night Raw, where he paid homage to those people because, again, they make those wrestlers look good. But the way these guys went back and forth at each other, he made you feel how much they hated each other but had mutual respect. That match was the winner for me.
Okay. All right. So for me, if I went with the losses of night 2, I'm going to go with the ladder match The loss of it was just you really wanted everybody to win. Respectfully, I didn't think Penta was gonna win. I wanted Evans to win. I wanted some new blood to shake some shit up, and I thought that would have been something. I thought Penta was injured from the previous one, so I didn't know if like, oh, this would be a perfect way to kind of. I guess it was me like theory casting, sitting on the couch, like booking, and I should have just sat there. And most of the time I sat there and just enjoyed it. But I would have picked Evans. And so I just lost that you had everybody in this match that could have won that, and they didn't. That's it out of respect. As far as the Rhea, I agree that Rhea match. Yeah, you got to put a loss. You got to put a loss in that match. But respectfully, you have to put the loss on Jade's ass. You got to put. I don't know what the fuck you watched. First of all, I watched it 2 times. I've watched the whole pay-per-view from beginning to end twice. So I didn't just watch it once. I sat back as a fan, like Then I sat back as a dad, disapproving, like and Jade is getting better, but just not good enough to have the championship. The same thing I was thinking with Stephanie. The only difference is Stephanie is a hell of a wrestler. It's no shade to Jade. I watched Jade when she was new at All Elite Wrestling, when no one knew who the fuck she was. Okay, respectfully, she was chiseled, and it was the same thing. She was stiff in the ring. She wasn't good on the mic, but she just had that look, and she could say the word bitch, and that would get a motherfucker. She would slightly go street, and that would get a motherfucker. And Tony Khan didn't really know what to do with it. The same thing you see with the Danhausen situation. But you bring her over here. The WWE knows what they have. Yeah, she can put an outfit together. Yeah, she's good on social media. But now you got to back it up. I'm sorry. Rhea was carrying her, and there was a reason why Rhea was in that match. The same thing you have Becky. The same thing you would have. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name, and she's a legend. I love her. From the Hart Foundation family, Natalia. The same reason why you call certain people to do those match, Michi. That's why she's a part of that clique, because she's teaching Jade behind closed doors how this thing goes. B-Fab. I think that's why you have that click, because it fits on paper in the visual, but it also, you're trying to help these young, new to the business learn. The same thing with Brock having Roman. The same way with Paul with Roman, and Paul with Braun. This is to help. This is a part of the business. It's not just the look. It's also some of that behind the scenes stuff. So I just thought like Rhea did a great job. I thought it's the best she can do in that match, where Jade was stiff still, and it looked like Jade was waiting for Rhea or somebody to call what was the next move. And you could watch it at the lockup and certain things that were happening. It just wasn't fluid. It wasn't smooth. And it is what it is. So I think the WWE had to take the belt off of her, and it's a loss. It is what it is. Is there any more losses for that night? No. I can't think of another loss. The wins, I would say, I've already talked about how I felt about the Ruler and Brock. Seeing that moment where Brock puts up the X, which means there's an injury, but it also means that this is real. This isn't scripted. And go back and watch Paul's reaction, because Paul's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I think about the conversation these two men have had over the decades, and he did not know this was happening. And so when Brock is doing it, Brock is doing the X to Paul, like, this is real. This is not storyline. And watching that general reaction. So that's why I think on Monday Night Raw, when Paul said what he was saying, that's his way to say, I guess, thank you to Brock, or say something towards Brock, or whatever the case is, versus I was caught off guard and I didn't get a chance to say what I wanted to say in a big moment, because that moment was yours and how it was. As far as the Roman and CM Punk, like I mentioned multiple times, I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was put together. It made me, that match right there made me want to buy fucking 2K. I wanted to buy it. I want to book my own shit. I want to do the universe and all this other stuff. And I was like, and it was on sale too. I was like, I'll be damned. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Go check the review, what we talked about 2K. Did you buy it yet?
No.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying. I was curious if I could bum it off of somebody. And that's what I have here. Now, speaking of storytelling, we're going to go into that later. But right now, I'm curious. What does this mean? Okay, let's get serious. What does this mean for Monday Night Raw as Raw is normally the Raw after WrestleMania. It's like the season premiere of Raw. What do you got on there?
So I watched Monday Night Raw right after WrestleMania. Now you have two things that happen. First, Oba doing that same thing Roman did.
Yep. It's my yard now.
The ruler is here.
I did like the mic drop, but yeah.
Then, before that, you had Oba calling out Roman during the press conference, and Roman, throwing jabs at Oba. But now you also have Jacob transitioning into, he's basically in it for the money. He wants that.
That's such a promo. Such a promo.
He wants it for the money. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to limit Oba appearance because again, WWE fans tend to be a little fickle. They'll turn on certain people quick. So I think they don't want to oversaturate people with Oba right now. Even though it's over, I think they want to limit him. And being on Raw, the flagship brand, I think we're gonna get Oba probably gonna eventually get a title match, but I don't know if it's gonna be at Backlash. Probably, SummerSlam.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be Backlash.
But I think Raw has a better chance with storyline as far as going on with Roman. Now you have Roman versus Jacob Fatu.
Backlash.
You have the Street Profits are back. I'll let you pile that on when you get it. Of course, Oba. Then you have the whole Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer now. Because even at the end, Stephanie Vaquer showed up. But one thing I think even though the fight between Liv and Vaquer would be great again, but I think there's other women that deserve a chance at that title right now, Raw. I think there should be a turn. One of the Judgment Day members, Raquel. I think she needs to get that transition into getting that championship belt on Raw. But overall, I think there's a lot of component to create great stories on Raw. It just see how they push it moving forward.
Okay, I mean, I have no faith in any of this. I think it's one good episode, just like you had some good episodes with John Cena. But like I said before, I think the John Cena run wasn't as impactful as it should have been, and that's just what it is. I think the Roman Reigns storyline is one of the best storylines they've had in a while, so they brought that back. He said, I'll be here all summer. He said summer. He didn't say the full fucking year. Okay, so we rocking this shit till SummerSlam, and I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be surprised if that belt gets taken off of him or something like that. But I thought the ruler coming out saying a few words was impactful because you didn't need anything more than what he said in the ring. He physically said what he had to say. WWE Raw is on notice. I do agree with you. I think they're going to sprinkle him in. They should sprinkle him in. I think he should come out and do some squash matches and take off and leave. He's a bad guy, and even if he's a bad guy that you can't help but to dance to, but he's still fucking up your favorite wrestlers. I just think that's what they should do. I don't think they should hide him like Gunther, but I think there should be special moments to build him up for that conversation. Same thing with Jacob. I thought Jacob did a really good promo. I think Jacob, like I said, he's believable. He's using.
You brought up Gunther. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
I think Oba should squash Gunther.
I know, and if fuck WWE, man, I don't hope we don't get fucking censored for this shit, man. How? Like I've said multiple times, I told a friend we're watching WrestleMania, watching what happened with Brock. I said that shit. How many times did I tell you that the writing on the wall was Oba should have been a part of the John Cena retirement, and it should have been Oba that finished him. It should have been Oba finishing him. It should have been him getting the mix with Brock. It would have kept the exact same storyline. Nothing changed. You're looking at Oba. Oba's collecting fucking infinity rings. He just took out Gunther. Then he takes out Cena. He retires Cena. He does Cena's own move. He just destroys this man in front of the world. After just destroyed, nothing left. Chaps him the fuck out. I don't care if John Cena smiles to the camera, none of that. Just chokes this motherfucker out. Just like make a wish kid out of him, respectfully.
But don't you think with how Gunther is?
No, Gunther is too fucking old. I'm not trying to be rude. I like good wrestling. Gunther is a hell of a wrestler. A hell of a wrestler. Even at NXT, even the stuff I think he did overseas, it might have been Germany. I can't remember. But I've watched older, like Big Gunther. He's still the same dude. He's out there doing it. He's a traditional heel. I love it. His intro, you're watching all these fucking Tigertron screens and shit, and everybody's fucking screaming. And here comes Gunther walking out here like it's the 1980s. There was nothing other than his music. Nothing in the back. They didn't fuck it up. He's no special edition fucking shorts on. It's fucking Gunther. Fucking slapping motherfuckers in the chest. It's unfortunate, but he's not young. So you just took and put this immortal moment on Gunther. And it's cool because maybe he's earned it. I'm not trying to, take anything away from him, but I'm talking about the business, the future. You could have put it on somebody who was the future.
Yeah, the business. So again, Gunther is this polarizing character, and I like that so much about him that people hate him so much. He retired Cena. He retired
you talking about AJ?
AJ. Mm-hmm. Now you put him versus Oba at SummerSlam. Come on now. The ruler versus the general.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if he beats Gunther, and that's how it should be, because he's the better person, whether he's a heel or not, he's supposed to be the beast incarnated that they're making. He's supposed to get the win. So it's kind of like, then what did Cena lose to Gunther for? That's what I'm saying. Mind you, Gunther's been gone. Gunther's not in the conversation. The whole idea when he beat John Cena, the conversation was, oh shit, Gunther's going to get pushed to the top 3. We're talking world championships. We talked about it. That's not in the conversation now. So what the fuck do you do with Gunther? That's why I said what should have happened was, if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. In my opinion, I'm trying to think in my head. I don't have the full details, but it would have been something like when Ron Killings was fired and came back, Ron Killings should have won the belt. And I think it was like Saturday night main event. Ron Killings should have won the belt. It would have been a moment for Ron Killings. It would have been a moment for that. You would have been able to watch it like Kofi Kingston or Big E. I just named all 2 black people. I gotta do better. It would have been a moment. It'd have been a moment, right? But then John Cena would have won it back like on Raw. He would have won it back from Ron Killings, and it would have been fine. Ron Killings would have went on doing what he's doing now. He's back to laughing and shit. And I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. But Ron Killings would have had a moment. Then the other thing about it, John Cena would have also had another moment because he won the championship again, setting a record. So he would have won another championship. We'd have seen a really good squash match, whatever. Then when Brock comes in the picture, everything is the same. The only difference is when Brock and them are going at it, Oba's music plays. And they're both like, what the fuck is going on? And Brock has a respect for John Cena. They're not beefing. It's just like the Roman Reigns CM Punk thing. So they're realizing, yo, this guy right here is a bad guy. Let's team up in a way. They're not trying to fight each other. Oba comes in there and John Cena shit up, then destroys Brock outside. Just destroys him. Destroys John Cena. Throws them both in a situation where he throws John Cena on Brock. They're both knocked out fucking cold. I'm talking about like as if it's 2K and they're using all their special move points and lays him on top, telling the world, here's your champions, here's the fucking people they're dead. Literally, they're unconscious. John Cena still wins. But the whole idea is I put John Cena on Brock, gave the belt to Cena, pissed off Brock. So now the rivalry that we saw would have been just longer. That's all it was. It doesn't have to be as much, just long, just a little bit. And we'd have picked up the exact same fucking steam. We would have got to this match. The same thing would have happened. But before this match, he would have went against John Cena. He would have been the last person to go against John Cena, not Gunther. And he would have destroyed Cena. The level heat, not to mention he's black. Some people, they just would have made that shit easy heat. He would have been so fucking hated. I'm talking about death threats type shit. And he would have been so heated and so hated. And it would have been nuclear hit, not Dom nugget, chicken nugget shit where it was fun. This would have been rough. And you still would have seen motherfuckers dancing in other countries at WrestleMania. And he'd walk down and he would have beat Brock. And you know what they would have said? The world would have said, yo, he's him. He's him. He beat Gunther. He beat John Cena. He beat Brock and destroyed him. And he retired. 2 of the 3 people that we'll consider legends, he retired. This would have been a different conversation. Now you have Gunther on 2 people that, unless you're a wrestling person, you're not, I don't think you're going to pay attention to Gunther and AJ and Gunther and John Cena other than that moment.
I think it could still work in a way where you do have him against Squash Gunther at SummerSlam, but you still do the build up with Roman on the side where, okay, he fights Jacob. Now Jake, he let's say he beats Jacob. Jacob's part of the family now. Then somewhere later on, Solo Sikoa comes back to the family. Now you have the full Bloodline members. Then you have Sami Zayn back if Gingerbread Men decide to come back. But now Oba is in the picture. Oba wants the belt from Roman. Now you have shoot a promo, like a Thanos. You have your family. I don't need a family. I'm the ruler, and he's taking them out one by one. And you have him, piling them up, and he's taking over. He's destroying the Bloodline by himself. Now it's just Roman left, and now you have this big match. The tribal chief versus the ruler. Battle of the Kings, something like that.
It does worry. The only thing I worry about is when you have a faction versus one person, I can't think of a situation. Normally it's faction versus faction. Realistically, you're like, well, they're just going to keep running people in because that's what it was with the Bloodline. But when it was Cody, it was always.
I think it would work with Oba just by himself. He doesn't need,
I think it would work for some moments. I think it would fall into the same situation as Cody, where Cody didn't need anybody until he did. Because it was just, Roman just kept coming up with ways to trick it. Because that's how we got Solo. It was just like, you couldn't stop it. Somebody was crawling out from underneath the ring, out of the audience, and you can't do anything about it. So I don't know. It's going to be something to look at for sure. But I think, I thought it was a really good Raw. I think they're going to fuck it up on Friday with SmackDown. NXT is the best brand they have. You heard it from me. I've said it multiple times. It's just what it is, and they need to do a draft soon.
Speaking of NXT, you have Sol Ruka, Joe Hendry, and Ethan Page now on Raw too.
Yeah, it's a really good lineup. What they're cooking over there is good, and I just don't know what they're gonna do with it. There's not enough time in the world. But we'll continue. We'll keep it moving. But you think the WWE sacrifice long-term storytelling for moments?
Yes.
I know this show's long, but what do you mean? Yes.
That's a definite yes. Where you had Jelly Roll, Pat McAfee, ISO Speed, Paige coming back. I think they did sacrifice storytelling for moments, even with the Rhea Ripley match. Go back to that story. No, again, I agree with you. Love her to death. Maybe I'm blinded by love.
Blinded by some assets. That's what it is.
Jade might be a little stiff there, but storytelling could have helped that match more if they let that feud that go back and forth. If they really let Jade, like you said, go street, on the mic, I think it would have helped the back and forth.
But it doesn't save what happens when you get in the ring.
I don't know. Maybe not.
They felt she couldn't carry the belt anymore. You got to realize you're the champion, you have to be able to carry it. Watching Becky,
but Rhea's not
do what she's doing.
Rhea, okay, good in the ring, Rhea, but I don't think she's any better in the mic either.
That's a good one. I would say I'm not gonna say it's
the only women
day and light, but she is better on the mic than I won't say it's day and night, but I feel like
one-liners she's good at, just like Jade. One-liners. She'll talk, mommy's on top, and then make a one-liner, boom, and it help with the fin. The only wrestler I must say is great and is probably is the top women wrestler right now that don't need mic skills is Io Sky. That's how she's so good in the ring. I don't think anybody cares about her mic skill.
Yeah, but I think what they do a really good job of what she's doing on the mic and the look. And I think with Rhea and Jade, they both have a look. But at the end of the day, Rhea does what she needs to do in the ring, and they can trust her to be the champion. And I don't think it had anything to do with whether or not they can be on a late night show or anything like that. I think it just comes down to trusting what you're going to do, the same way you see Becky, who is known as Hogan. You know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the company chose you to carry the belt, carry the brand until they figure shit out. And that's just what it is. I mean, I don't know. When I think about long-term storytelling, again, you're watching them bring back the Bloodline conversation, because that long-term is what got people watching and being so invested. You're watching the John Cena thing. You had a really good opportunity to tell a story and you lost it because you were stressing about the moment, and that got effed up. And that moment slipped away. That moment being John Cena, a heel that just went wrong. You could have done a long-term storytelling with John that year. Like I said before, it should have been when John was here before he left. It should have been the Great Reset. You should have been putting your pieces in place. What it shows to me is like, hey, they haven't figured this shit out yet. WWE, TKO, they haven't figured this out yet.
And they did that with Randy and Cody too, by bringing in Pat McAfee and and even involving Jelly Roll. They could have really delved into the whole backstory of Randy and Cody, mentor, friend, that whole aspect of it. You know, even from if you watch snippet from back when Cody and Randy were in the locker room and Randy kept side eyeing the title, stuff like that. They could have focused on, but they missed that opportunity again with that.
I think they're focused on the moment because the moment is expensive to be in the moment. To capture that moment is expensive. We talked about it before. What it looks like TKO has done, and they've shown to do it with the UFC. You're looking at the ticket price situation. You're looking at the fact that you had Cody have to come out and say what's going on with the tickets. You're looking at the fact that, I think we got 2 pipe bombs, which are taking this thing away from a pipe bomb if it's going to happen so frequently. But you had CM Punk talking about the ticket prices, and you have McAfee coming out saying, I called in some favors. Dodge truck, they're going to go ahead and do it. And wearing merchandise while talking shit about people wearing merchandise. And it felt so disconnected. It felt like a rich person talking to somebody who's struggling or working to put food on the table. There's a disconnect. And you're watching that when they had to change the pricing and bring John Cena in. It just seems like they're like, hey, even again, with the ticket prices, it's not for you and me. It's not a race thing. When they go overseas to Saudi Arabia, respectfully, and they do a lot of events. We talked about that in the previous episode, talking about the Royal Rumble. This isn't for us. And what I mean by that is they're like, if you can't afford a seat in the house, it's not for you. It's not for you, because people thought like, oh, it's going to be dead. It looked fucking sold out to me. I don't care if they gave out tickets. I don't care if they reduced prices. At the end of the day, the moment they filled out the fucking stadium.
I think they used that because they knew fans were upset about the ticket price, and I think the whole CM Punk, Pat McAfee, even they used that just to generate more ticket sales. I
don't think so. I think they used that respectfully to do the fourth wall, and some of it might have been okay, and some of it might not have been okayed. I think it was more or less them saving face, because this is not a business where you can put on the website, hey, 20% off, 25% off, and people will talk about it. You have a microphone that you can talk during a 3 or 4 hour show and subliminally or straight up say whatever. And yes, the part of like, oh, TKO F them and they're messing this up, and did you want to see this, and the subtle Easter eggs. I just think at the end of the day, they went ahead and okayed Paul or Pat McAfee and Cody and certain people talking shit about him and say, hey, look, we need to get some ticket sales. We effed up. We're going to make adjustments, but until we figure this out, it's our first WrestleMania. We're still figuring this stuff out. We need you to say this because we're going to do X, Y, Z. And it just wasn't there. So in my opinion, like I said before, I understand that WrestleMania is normally about a 6-week rival thing. They pick who's going to be at WrestleMania. They do, promos and stuff back and forth, and it goes. There are some moments that worked. Don't get me wrong. You are cursed. It works. It fucking works. I watched him, not in the indie scene. First time I seen this dude was All Elite Wrestling, in the face paint, in the teeth, and he doesn't wrestle much. And I was like, all right, man, oh, cool. It's cool. And he teamed up. He had Hook and the rest of them. I'm like, all right, cool, man. And then when he popped up here, I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. You're talking about the same fueling powerhouse that brought you Iguana Man and got you with Roman Reigns shirt and Yeet shirts and Bailey Hug stuff and Bootios. Like, you put that machine together with this shit gonna be a problem. The Rock was talking about, he was watching them. And it took a little bit because the audience didn't know. Like, if you go back to the first night or so, when he's like, and you can hear the audience, they're just not there. They're like, what the fuck is this? And then with him disappearing and shit, like, who the fuck are you talking to? And there's nobody there. Or you have him and Ron Killings. That shit was hilarious. He was sitting there like, oh, you thought? I was like, no, you said that. And Damon Priest like, yo, you said that. And he's like, nah. And who are you talking to again? Like, he's even on it. And so when it comes to this moment where John Cena is basically not handing the torch, but it's just like putting someone over in a different way, that's great. They're going to be able to sell money on face paint. I see it already. Kids are going to be fucking wearing face paint before the end of the year. You can sell teeth. They're going to do that shit. I'm talking like bigger than the boogeyman. You're talking about someone who's going to be able to be at WWE events in a hosting way, signing autographs, selling t-shirts, and All Elite Wrestling couldn't figure this out, but WWE did. They said, hey, look, you don't have to wrestle. You don't have to. Just come out there, listen to it now. He doesn't have to even get the first word out. They're ready for it. He's like, are you? And you can just, and he just stops. And I know he's eating that. Like, he's living a fucking dream. And that's just awesome. And that's what I mean by, there are some moments, there's some really good fucking moments. And that was one of them that felt so like organic. And that was cool. But there's some moments that others share to themselves. Now, if you could pick one person in the world, the whole wide world, who do you think is the happiest person at the end of WrestleMania for this year as a whole?
Oba.
Okay. Why? You went a different way from what I'm about to do.
Huh?
You went a different way from what I'm about to do. Why Oba?
You could just see on his face when he pinned Brock and he grabbed the referee. Just that moment when he grabbed the referee, he was shocked himself. You know? I think he'll live that moment for the rest of his life.
You know what? Just to kind of go in there, because you just made me remember something. Who beat The Undertaker and ended his streak?
Brock.
Oba beats Brock. There's something about that. Not just him beating the Undertaker's streak, but what he did with his career since then, leading up to that moment and after, right? It goes back to what I said with the Gunther thing. John Cena's retirement, like so many other wrestlers, especially is going to happen more and more with social media. It's that kind of moment. We may not realize it now, but it's that kind of moment. Does Gunther have enough time to add like Brock added or continued to his career? And that's what I mean. I don't think Brock has that time. I don't think Brock's going to, Brock, I don't think Gunther has that time. I don't think Gunther's going to have those matches to solidify himself. I could be wrong, but I'm just going off the age. I know he's talented. He's in my top 10 in WWE.
I think Gunther's already there. The longest intercontinental champion of all time right now.
Who cares about that?
No, wait. But it still holds weight. Then you have, again, even though he didn't get quite a push from it, he still has that. When the last time we had a villain like Gunther that's so polarizing?
Mm-hmm.
That right there alone puts him Hall of Famer right there. Polarizing character who you love to hate. Plus his career in NXT and the European NXT, that alone, you know. World heavyweight champion.
Yep. Yeah,
I think the only championship he hasn't gotten was WWE champion.
I think so, Grand Slam. Yeah.
Or United States Championship belt. He could go for those and be.
He's too major, but he could, yeah.
Yeah, but at this point right now, I think he's already there.
I don't know. Like I said, I love him. We talk about it all the time. Like I have nothing against Gunther whatsoever. I want more of him. I just, similar to other stars, and we talked about this before in the men and women's division, I don't trust that this team, this executive, the storytellers on the two big brands are going to be able to take care of Gunther. I don't know if they're going to take care of Oba. I don't think they're going to take care of anyone right now other than probably CM Punk, Roman Reigns. There's a handful of individuals, but I think because they can control their creativity based off of their contract, I think behind the scenes they're able to say, "Hey, look, I'm not Evans, I'm not Dragon Lee, I'm Rey Mysterio. I'm telling you how we're going to write this out. I'm not Stephanie, I'm Becky. I'm telling you how we're going to write this out. I'm not Lash, I'm Charlotte. I'm telling you how we're going to write this out." And then you have some people who are they're chosen right now, like Liv. She's chosen right now. It doesn't matter what anybody else says because we saw Tiffy Time. What the fuck happened to Tiffy Time? That shit ran out, just like it did with Jade. It's a business, and I get that. I just feel like,
well, with Jade, I don't think she never got that. Again, love that woman to death.
She never got what?
The pop, like I would say,
okay.
Rhea or Bianca got. She has the fan base, including me, but I don't think she's quite there yet where she shows up and everybody freaks the fuck out.
I think it happens, as she gets better in the ring, as they put better matches, better. I think that's what it is.
Which is where I think WWE failed her. They should have put her in NXT for a while.
They spent a lot of money on that, respectfully, on her and her brand and her image. I felt like you couldn't put her in there like Jordan or certain people. I think you needed her to be on that main stage. They saw enough. They weren't fooled by her ability in ring. I'm sure they talked to her. I'm sure there was a workout or something. And she's not the only one. I'm not dogging up on her. There's some other people where it's like, all right, well, the wrestling isn't the strongest. But if you're going to be put to that light, that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, like you said, you felt like Oba woke up and said, hey, WrestleMania was great in my eyes. Well, I'm going to tell you who I think woke up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. and maybe feeling like P. Diddy. I don't know exactly what's on the files or whatnot. Some people say creating their own files. But if it was me and I was a bed man, I could almost guarantee that you got no chance in hell that somebody else, Vincent Kennedy motherfucking McMahon, didn't wake up with a smile on his face after damn DUI, being let off free, living his life better than Tiger Woods. You cannot lie to me and think that Vince wasn't sitting there saying, I love this is a shit show. I love they're talking about they wish I came back. I love that they're talking about the rumors of did I book this because this was the only good match, or Vince would have never done this, or I'm ready for Vince to come back. Like the headlines were there. This wasn't like a booking on the couch. This was collective people on social media talking about how bad night one was, how night two didn't really save it for the people other than the one or two matches. And so you're seeing all of this and you're like, Vince is just sitting there saying, by gosh, they'll miss me.
I heard it somewhere. One guy I watch on TikTok, and he made a point. He said Vince was the only person who was able to handle two main guys at the same time, where he was able to handle The Rock and Stone Cold, Kurt Angle and Brock, all these other main guy. He was able to have two main or three main person at the same time. Where now you have Triple H, there's only one, one QB, and they're trying to push Cody Rhodes hard down everybody's throat. No Diddy. But I think that's where the issue lies, where they want only one person to be the guy, to be the flagship person of the company, where you could have multiple people, but WWE is pushing one person.
Right.
And I don't think, even with Vince, I don't think the WWE still has that problem where they want the person they push for you to like, where when the fan picks the person, they don't really try to go after that person, that try to push that person that hard. But recently with Oba, Trick, and even who else? I would say Oba and Trick. That's like the kind of like the only few I've seen so far where WWE kind of stood behind and, all right, we're gonna go with these guys. Let's push them. Because look at LA Knight.
Yeah, but I think the same thing with Gunther. I think they're looking at the fact that he's older, because LA Knight is good in the ring. Yes, he's had some botches. Don't know why he climbs the fucking turnbuckles, but his promo skill is good. He has a good look. He has a pop moment. But I think it is what it is. And I think some of them, you'll have someone where the crowd kind of gets into it and they can't believe that person is popular. I think one of them was, and I'm going really far back. Yes. You even have the promo where you have John Cena, who heard the crowd. Vince was against it, heard the crowd, and brought him up into the promo and said, go ahead and tell him who you are. And it was against Randy Orton. Go ahead and tell him who you are. And that was a thing. So I don't know. I just think in my head, Vince is going to be the one that's happy. I'm hoping Randy Orton is a bad guy, gets the belt at Backlash or something. I don't know what they're going to do with that exactly. And then Oba finishes Randy Orton and deletes him, but it is what it is. You got any closing notes before we get out of here on this hour-long show? It's a loaded potato.
I know. My only last thing was the damn commercials. I don't understand why I'm paying.
You mean that didn't get you hype?
Huh?
You know that didn't get you hyped? All the commercials?
No. I think, from my understanding, they showed that Hulk Hogan commercial about 40-something times. And all these other commercials. I never once have I watched a WrestleMania. I remember seeing even seeing commercials. Even when it was in Peacock, I don't remember seeing that much commercials.
I felt like they were low key in there. Maybe not as much. Let me know in the comments if you guys know. But I think what it is there was so many we noticed them. Like when you watch streaming, like especially like certain things like Prime and stuff, you'll see an ad or two. You see the little Hulu has like a little ticker, and you're like, oh well, cool. I got 2 ads, 3 ads. I got 30-some seconds, and you either watch it or you move through. There were just so many. You were like, wait, didn't we just do an ad? And then didn't we just do a 45-minute walk to stage? Like that intro was 45 fucking minutes. And then there was 2 ads before it. Then the match is over. It hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. That was pissing me off. Like the ads, yes, it was annoying. I wanted wrestling at, wait for it, Wrestlemania. That's what I wanted. It's crazy concept. I wanted wrestling at Wrestlemania. Also, I felt bad for Louisiana. New Orleans should have got WrestleMania. I felt bad for them too. I just forgot. But I felt bad about them. I felt bad for Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne should have came out there, spit hot fire. But let's get out of here. Shout out to Eddie, who's got to look through this and figure out exactly what to do. What to do with this. It's kind of like whoever put this together. But don't blame Triple H. I don't think Triple H has anything to do with it. The rumor is Triple H is only doing the mid cards, and the mid cards hasn't been hot. They're saying it's this TKO guy and some other money upstairs. They're doing it.
An audio leak, so yeah.
Yeah, so I can't wait to watch that season of WWE Netflix Presents Unreal. I can't wait for that shit. So sign me up for that. If you want to buy me the copy of WWE 2K26, do it. Buy it for me. I'm gonna book. I'm gonna book it the way I want to. With that being said, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here. I am Mr. Showtime, the Dad Panther, writer, streamer, content creator, master of none, but you can call me Ron. And I'm sitting here with the not so super fan Manny, and watch something. We got so much to watch: anime, television, mobile games. We just all over the place. Until next time.
Shit, I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Shit, I'ma get into it first. Shit, I'ma get into it.